Hello and welcome back, everyone, to game number 2 here as we're kicking off the Collegiate Championship here for 2022. I'm Pastry, that's Alk, and we got a very,
that was a good game.
It was a good game, a high octane
Yes.
bit of League of Legends for our first.
Oh, for sure. I'm glad that's the way we get to kick it off. We didn't, we didn't get any of the Ivor and Rengar stuff yet. Maybe that'll come in a little bit later. Yeah, we got some really fun stuff, and obviously Robbie Bob's Victor, you just can't give it to the guy.
Yeah, I would like to temporarily re-ID Mr. Robbie Bobby. I think Robbie Problem feels relatively appropriate after that. Yeah, not just the individual play, obviously in the lane and on the champion, navigating the 5v5s as Victor is wont to do, but really those roams that saved otherwise horrible situations that Western actually set up really well.
Yeah, I mean, St. Thomas so far throughout CLOL in the tournament has really been kind of focusing on not only the Victor, but stuff that can move over into the bottom lane, right? It has been stuff like the Rise where Robbie Bob has kind of found his name throughout all of his career, I think, as a whole. So seeing him kind of continue to do that and play towards his bot lane in Shogo, despite them having a bit rougher of an early game this time around, he was able to salvage so much of the game for them. And obviously, you pump Victor some gold, he's going to win you a team fight here or there.
Yeah, I think, we talked a lot before the game about 2v2 being a focal point of this series, and it will continue to be so. But I think the thing you always need to remember to bring in is, like, typically when teams are playing through their 2v2 or through their bottom lane, it's not just the jungler that makes their way down there.
No.
It's usually the rest of the team at some point. And obviously, when Victor gets all the kills, they pivot and make sure that Victor can carry through the mid game.
It's usually 4 people now. After the changes to teleport a
that's
while
true.
ago, it used to be every single player on the team would just be like,
you
"Oh, we're
love that.
teleporting bot, cool." But ever since the unsealed or unsealed teleport, you just got to basically have your mid laner, your jungler come down there, and we are fighting for the wave. We're fighting to make sure the enemy bot laner is not allowed to play the game.
Yep. It's also why Gangplank is a nice ban because it feels like 4.5 champions
That
are
too.
ganking
Yeah.
you in a
Anyone
lot
with
of
globals
cases.
basically is just good luck.
Good luck, everyone. Well, we'll see how it shakes out. Looks like they're just getting their clients in order, but we should be in the champion select in just a mo.
I'm trying to ID some players, so I'm pretty sure that's Skytech sitting behind Western. If the crowd can ID this for me, I'm pretty sure that's Skytech and Dinka with Western. Both players that have been in amateur, also played a little bit of collegiate. Dinka formerly on the B team for Maryville. Skytech playing also for Western, also playing on EG Academy last split.
Look at you. Got all the info. That's very impressive.
Thank you. Texas, so Lena's their team manager for UST. Awesome. We love Perchance. She does everything. She's also a ref for some of the amateur tournaments. And Texas, NovaBot, this guy is like perma, just like playing every single role as a sub sometimes for some of their matches. And he's been around for a really long time.
It happens sometimes, in the collegiate amateur scene. Someone doesn't show up,
You just gotta, sometimes you gotta play a little bit of Diana Jungle for the first time with your team.
Oh yeah, no problem. Pretty good champion. Just press your buttons, you'll be all right.
Okay.
We do have a delay. Champion select, as you can see. But don't worry.
Western are like, Victor is still in the champion select. We need that gone. We only have 3 bans on the first rotations. We kind of need a 4th one. We will trade. They're like making a trade deal right now with the referee. They're like, we will trade Swain being re-enabled for Victor being disabled for the rest of at least this match.
I don't think they're going to go for it, but I do appreciate the diplomacy. Gwen also sticking out, obviously, is a pick that's very powerful.
Yeah.
I don't think you have the space to take that one away, but maybe if you want to play swapsies and go to the other side, then you can open up.
I was going to say, Western, they did get side selection and they chose blue, which we saw during the desk segment with the boys. So that right there is going to be really important. They have blue side, and that means that they probably will have much more access to the Gwen. She is by far and away on this patch the strongest champion. Her numbers reflect that from competitive play. They're really insane. And being on blue side allows you that. It also means that kind of frees up some of your drafts. So some of the intricacies of that is that when you're on red side, there are just sometimes champions that are broken. Specifically the Lucian, like we talked about earlier, you have to get rid of.
Again, reiterating, 12.9. You can see it there at the top of your screen. 12.9. There have been a lot of different patches rolling around competitive League of Legends, but this tournament is locked to 12.9. So this is why some of the more familiar faces you might see. A blue side Gwen ban is what we like to call in the biz a worrying trend, but we'll talk about it later. Rengar, Nocturne, and Karma all banned away by UST.
So I wonder what that means for the game, right? Because now Western Ontario, what are they going to pick up for their top lane? It was set last game. Calculus has shown a little bit of proficiency on Gnar throughout the tournament, so interested to see that, you know, we're getting rid of that champion. It's also just an AP champion that you really want in top lane, because right now the jungle is almost entirely AD focused. And so when you have that stack of a lot of physical damage, it is very easy to itemize into armor.
Some blue side bans here from Weston. definitely feel like they're red side bans, but taking out Lucian as well. I know Gorica likes that champion, so perhaps in the trade that always happens in these opening picks in phase 1, they didn't feel comfortable getting that one. Maybe just trying to get something like the GP, which UST will take away. So it does feel like this draft.
There you go.
A little more
opening up for Victor on the first pick. Yep, that makes sense. Give Loyal something a little bit more supportive, and obviously with how much damage he was able to do last game, taking that away is also an important thing to note for St. Thomas.
Yeah, I think don't want to repeat that one there, but this feels brutal, man. Wukong, Senna, perhaps together, perhaps not. Most likely jungle there, and for Sugar or Chukis, depending on how they want to approach the 2v2.
But that's just one of the cool things, right? Like, there's so much flexibility. Western Ontario kind of just has to bite the bullet and say, okay, we just have to pick up line matchup. Like, we know Senna's going to be going into the bot lane, whether that's for Chukis or for Shogo, we'll see. But the Wukong is also flex. You can play it in the top lane. It means that Calculus can't necessarily blind something like a Gnar.
Lulu again here seems to be the go-to for Lynx. Did look pretty good even in the early game, assisting in the 3v3s that got Western the early game gold lead. I imagine their plan is going to be pretty similar. It is, you know, go Gorica, go often to that bottom lane and try and get ahead. But Senna pretty tough to deal with, especially if you miss. Kind of like Ashe in a way. Like, as soon as you miss on a Senna gang, Senna's just like chugging like CC at you forever, chunking you down.
Yeah.
Really annoying.
Yeah, especially with the slow that they added onto her Q. It is definitely a lot more difficult, I think, if Senna misses out, if you're not able to get anything off of that. Once you have that cooldown, it's just gone. You're just waiting at that point. So, St. Thomas, what are your options at this point? Kind of a similar draft, obviously swapping the Victor or the Seraphine that we saw last game with the Victor this time around. St. Thomas, it looks like they're just going to kind of, this has kind of been comfort for them, putting Chukis in the Tahm Kench role. And so this means we could see some more, I think, what's the word? I don't want to say immobile, but not necessarily the safest mid laners. Because now, with this Wukong and with the Tahm Kench, you can buy a lot of space for your carries.
Yeah, absolutely. As UST will predictably continue to pick off Gorica. They already have one piece of their bottom lane, so wanting to ban out the one that hasn't picked yet. Vayne is once again going to be taken away. And this time it's a completed bottom lane, we have to assume, for St. Thomas. It's pretty tough to make these champions work in other spots, so he's going to be Vigo banned away from Robbie Bob.
If this was a pastry time coach diff, it was definitely like
and
a Tahm
different
Kench
game,
mid.
yeah.
Like we got like a Tahm Kench mid, like a Tahm Kench top. Yeah, I know you're definitely all for that.
If it doesn't belong, I will play it there. That's kind of my rule of thumb.
Well, no Tank Vagar this time for you. We can't play that one, unfortunately.
The coveted Tank Vagar. Azale's out there molding. Cosmo going to be banned away, despite, again, this is 12-9. I don't know how many more times I'm going to say it, probably a lot.
Forever.
But
we just keep doing it. You know, it's free. If we ever need like a break, just say 12-9. Everybody in chat will get it.
Yeah. That's good.
They'll understand. Yeah. Getting rid of that, they obviously just want to get rid of Cog Lulu. Cog Lulu, Cog Vayne. Doesn't even matter. Like, yes, we're not on 12-10, but this is still a very, very strong bot lane duo and outranges a lot of them, especially if you're going up against Senna. I'll take that any day of the week.
Interesting potential pick here, so we'll talk about it when UST have made a decision. Karthus also bans away. That's a mid lane ban based on the texture of this draft. So Robbie Bob has definitely got some pieces, but I was going to highlight the need for AP somewhere. And that has come in the form of everyone's favorite pilot is Corky in the mid lane against Victor.
Gives them poke, it gives them range. They're going to be getting that as the game goes on, right? Obviously, Corky with the missiles offers you that range to try and deal damage before a fight versus Western. And while the shielding is good, it's not quite as good as healing. The healing will mitigate all that damage, but without that, it looks like instead they recognize the trend of CLoL. Play for team fights, play for that 15 minutes onwards. Early games are nice, but after you get through the first couple games of Swiss, it is all playing for late.
What's the last pick here? Gonna need pretty big carry here for Gorica. Hey, that one's
there. It is. Okay, Jinx for Gorica is definitely on the table here. I like this. Now for St. Thomas, I want to see what they do with this. The kind of flex that we see, right? Still with the Wukong. And instead, it's a Varus champion that did get some changes on this patch. I don't know if, you know, they saved it. We have a meme in some of our friend groups that there's like good champions and then there's like Varus tier champions.
Unlucky.
And he has been, at least win rate rise has been shuffling towards the bottom. I'm excited to see this from Gorica. I wonder if it's going to be an on-hit build. We're going to see maybe a little bit of a flex of like an AP Varus.
Yeah, the buffs did lean towards auto-attacking, so more on hit and stuff. So as far as like wanting to be in the 5v5, I think Varus is actually pretty respectable here. Yeah. I think sometimes people look at Varus like, he can only poke. It's like, he can't, but that's fine. So I do like this, and I think it does give them more power in the 2v2, which is probably what they're looking for.
Yeah. Definitely. It'll give them some range to be able to harass Shogo here. And now they've picked up the Camille, which I was wondering if they were going to try and send Wukong into Ornn. It seems instead they want to go for something that's going to give Porsche a little bit more play-making potential and something that, I mean, just plays alone throughout CLoL in the round of 32 and 16. We saw some really good Camille come out of Porsche, so I'm excited.
Yeah, also needed to go button. That's a pretty good one to have on tap. Neither carry on the Western side wants to eat a Hextech ultimatum, depending on the positioning. So I do like it here from both sides. We'll see how it looks as the game progresses. But it's only best of threes here in the opening days. Alex with his backs against the wall here. Single elim all the way to top 32.
Ooh, it's going to be so scary. And then after this, like, if this is a 2-0 for St. Thomas, it immediately goes into another match, Maryville versus Winthrop. An insane one, just history-wise, not just the players, even on the Rift there. So Western obviously don't want that to happen. They want to continue their dreams. They want to make it out of top 8. Unlike just like Brandon was saying, he knocked them out last year. He made sure that we're knocking all the Canadian reps out from CLoL. They want to continue their dreams. They want to make it into that top 4.
Yeah, and of course, you know, it's a big school versus a club team, right? Western definitely looking to show up here for the less supported teams. There are 2 names that have been on this stage guiding, you know, a rotating roster of successful teams here from Western, which is great to see, but gonna have to show up big. They had the right idea, really did the right things in the early game, so just converting that into a mid-game lead you can really lean on, rather than Robbie Bob killing everyone on Victor. And
it works for how they like to play, which is obviously Winston is going to walk into your enemy jungle, and this is somewhat similar to what I was talking about with Kitsuo. They are very aggressive. Both of them are looking to try and put pressure on the enemy jungle, put pressure on the enemy lanes to make sure that you always have to think, is Winston, is Kitsuo here? Because if he is, I'm dead. And they got punished very early on in that last game. Kitsuo overextending for a kill led to them being a little bit of a hole early on. So I want to see if Western are going to kind of keep that same ideal. Can we focus? Can we try to punish where Kitsuo is? Can we match his pathing in the jungle and match him there?
All right, so a quick note, we do have to quickly remake the game. Same picks and bans, nothing's going to change. So we'll just have to run it up, make sure everything gets locked in, and then we'll move ourselves in the game as soon as they're ready.
It was the Victor. They're cursed at this point. They're like, no, remake it. It's a remake a draft. We don't have to play this one out, guys.
Said, nope, that doesn't work either. They go, okay, fine, we'll pick it again.
That's awesome. I'm glad for that, but I really want to see how St. Thomas are able to handle this bot lane, because again, last game, they got bodied. They got absolutely bodied. Shogo was not having a great time, and when we saw the matchup, both of these guys were really close statistically. Like, Gorica had, I think, the kind of the edge in a lot of them, and we were making a joke that maybe if we didn't see the Callista game come out in, I think it was the round of 16, maybe Shogo's stats would have been just a touch better. And now with Senna, you know, there's a lot less responsibility for you to be like a hyper carry, but you still have a much different role, I think, from other marksmen. Yeah,
texture, the 2v2 is completely different than it was in game 1. Before, you know, it was Nautilus and Samira just trying to basically find an all-in that works for you at some point and get aggressive. And Gorica is like playing the Ashe, keeping him at arm's length, you know, like the big brother fighting the little brother. Stay over
there. You put like he put his like arm right on top of like his head, and he's like, keep running into it, brother. That's not happening.
Now, of course, Uteno, great range, but very defensive bottom lane here. So it's going to be much more about opening up the rest of the map and getting that Corki going. Good old Robbie Bob.
I've never been so excited to talk about Corki in my entire life until right now.
Let me tell you.
Corki gets it. Corki gets the gears going. I'm just like, let's go.
Corki does provoke a large emotional response from me.
From you? Like, is it a good emotional response, or are we talking like?
Seen a lot of.
Never mind. I'm seeing your face right now. Twitch stream cannot see your face. You are not.
Look, it's really fun at 25 minutes when Corki pokes someone and they explode. It is fun. I do enjoy that as a caster.
Yes.
Just getting to that point.
You just see like the big missile come through, and you're like not sure if it's gonna land, and then it does, and all of a sudden like there's just a Victor with no HP. Thankfully, they do have a Senna, right? Like the Senna's gonna be in her back pocket. Like we could do some extra long range damage. That's cool. So Varus needs to be very careful in this. And I want to see what Lynx is gonna do, right? Because we saw some early roams from him. He moved into the top lane to help out Calculus, and we maybe see a little bit more of that. Varus should be, when he's playing at range, he's similar to an Ashe in that sense that he can play alone. He can access the wave at a really long distance. It doesn't necessarily have a lot of threat onto him.
Yeah, and I think kind of like last game, actually, it's funny, like the way the game played out, they ended up playing around their mid laner. The way this draft actually played out, they're going to be playing around their mid laner. So it's almost like, you know what, that worked pretty well.
Hey!
Let's dial it back and go ahead and, you know, shift that strategy in here. But given the Victor play we saw, I imagine Robbie Bob's got it on lock with the Corki. just maybe going to be a slower pace of game. Although, to be fair, UST didn't play overly quickly in the early game. We're more than happy to let Western kind of play into them and then punished accordingly with the roams.
Yep, they made sure to get every time they were bot lane, they were in the right position, they were able to then punish, get those kills, and it was again that third dragon. They said we pick up this third dragon, we've got our items, we've got our Victor fed. Let's keep it moving, boys. So you see them all, they're kind of relaxing. Shogo's got to be feeling pretty hype about this. Like this guy was, like they talked about on the desk, they had a different bot lane at the beginning of it when they started this program, and now basically in their first full calendar year as a program at St. Thomas, they made top 8. And it's got to be really awesome, and almost everybody's new basically, right? Like we're talking about the new top laner in Porsche, but also like they're just the director, Justin Pelto. He came in and he's like, well, I'm a new director and now I've got like a really awesome set of guys and we're going to LA.
You know, it's funny when you say full calendar year, because culturally for me, back home in Australia, the college year runs, you know, in a calendar year.
Yes.
Whereas obviously here it runs over
yeah, it's weird.
Because like our summer is, you know, our summer to summer is like, you know, January to December. Not really, but like basically. Whereas for, you know, summer lands in the middle here for some reason. It's very strange.
Yeah,
so I have to like, in my brain, I was like, okay, it's within a year. That means a college year. Okay, shift it back like 6 months and now my brain works again.
It hurts. It hurts. And for St. Thomas, right, like they came onto the scene and just completely started taking names across collegiate and a bunch of smaller collegiate events, the lands that were going on. So really exciting stuff for them. And obviously, like we kind of touched upon before, Western is a household name if you've been following CLOL for a really long time.
Well, another update. As you know, we have been waiting for the game to be remade. Champ Select is apparently it has started right now.
Let's go.
We're not going to see it again because we already saw it. We saw the picks and bans.
Yeah, we did. We did.
There's Corky in the mid lane. Everyone, don't get too excited. So we'll be in game soon. Is the hope?
Exactly.
They'll speed on the Champ Select. I know the players remember the champions exactly. Have everything set up already. Surely the runes are configured properly.
Oh, that's the best. That would be the best timeline. Is like we get Champ Select, boom, whatever. We remake it. We get everything done. You can see it on their screen. They're like slowly starting to get through it. And it's like, oh, I took wrong runes. Can we?
Nope. The answer is no.
No.
Definitely not.
Nope. After that one, you get one.
Yep.
It's done.
So it turns out the game sometimes trolls you and gives you the incorrect rune.
Yes.
That does happen sometimes.
That has happened to me many a times.
But if it's your fault, and we will check this, we can see what you clicked on in the client.
Oh.
You are not allowed to change back. You don't get a gimme.
Damn.
It is operator error is not accounted for in remakes.
Well, it is. It's just like, yeah, we're just not going to give it to you. Don't worry about it. As we kind of go through this pause, as you can see on your screens here, we've got the players here, and that's really exciting, especially considering last year CLOL was played online. We got to see Winthrop and them playing at home, at remote, and end up winning the tournament. But here, we've got the fans, we've got a bunch of the teams, either that are playing later on in today or tomorrow, that are just in the stands, maybe with their families as well. Yeah. Super, super awesome.
Yeah, it's been really nice.
There we go.
Crowd's vibing.
Woo!
They want to see more League of Legends.
A lot of Merrifield. There we go. Second seat. That's Pelto. That's their boy. That's for UST.
Let's go.
Gotta give him the shout out.
I'm like trying to get.
Yeah. Okay. They're at Lulu.
Okay,
we got the support. I see all of the champions on screen. I see Corky. Oh. We've got Wukong.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
Loading in. It says choose your loadout. This is extreme. 17 seconds.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was like what is it? Enhance?
Zoom enhance.
Yeah, really.
Just like ruin all of the pixels on the screen. It doesn't matter. We're good.
Really had to zoom in there to figure it out. But thankfully, Alk and I, keen eyeballs, managing to spot what was happening there. So we'll pop ourselves in the game in just a moment. Curious if there's any level 1 preparation for these teams. My instinct based on game 1 says no, which is usually the most exciting time for something to happen. But I'm not gonna set the expectations falsely for our audience here.
Yeah, of course. We wouldn't want to lie to them and give them false hope of, oh dude, explosive level 1.
Look.
And then Corky Victor just standing in mid lane like, yeah.
Look, there were some vibes in the laning phase, although to be fair, Weston did get the ball rolling quickly. But that was like a 50-kill game.
Yeah,
if you're here for fun, there's a lot of fun.
Robbie Bob on level 1 Victor versus Seraphine, he was like, I'm taking every single Q I can at this point. We're gonna go for a fist fight.
He's ready.
There we go.
Ready. Let's go. Game 2, UST looking to find a sweep here and push on over to the semifinals here in the top 8. And it is 5 people running down the bottom side of the Rift. Alk Battery, what happened here?
Let's see it. Appreciate everybody for kind of making it through this pause. Okay,
run.
Lynx.
Good
Okay,
work.
he got the ward. And now everybody will notice him. And unfortunately, Paystream, we got no action level 1.
Well, Robbie got a CS and a little bit of XP.
Yeah, but it's shared between 5 people. This is
True.
something at home. If you're able to get the first ward and it's just you by yourself, it can help you in mid lane get experience to be level 1. The sliver!
Barely see the XP bar.
Thank you to Observers for showing that one.
Let's go.
Yeah. If you're alone and you're able to get that, it's really nice. As a mid laner or as a solo laner, you get level 2 on the first wave.
Yep.
That's cool, but that's not usually the case, and so playing for bot lane, that ward, if you want to try that out in solo queue, it allows you to get into bush, and if you are an engaged support especially, maybe something like a Tom Kench, if you're able to do that Abyssal Dive and Fog of War, good luck escaping that. Is almost assuredly a lot of damage you can get down.
Yes, the thing that solidified the ward XP thing to me was one time an enemy talent in mid lane got a kill on the ward.
Yeah.
And I died instantly at level 2. I was like, oh, that's how that works.
Well, I got level gapped here, so
Feels bad, man.
Yeah.
Betrayed by my own wards.
Happens.
Gonna hit start the red buff here. It is same side starts here. So unsurprisingly, the junglers have eyes towards the bottom half of the rift.
And yet again, like you're saying, Winston and Kitsuo are going to clash. They're going to meet up on the bottom side of the jungle, and hopefully there's going to be some scuffling going on. There's going to be a bot gank, something going on in the bottom lane. That's exactly what we wanted to see, and both of these teams expecting for that to happen. They're even doing the same path at this point. Winston, he took blue buff, he took Gromp because he wanted the experience to be able to hit level 3 on 3 camps. That's, I mean, he wants to make some action go down, and already you see from Western, they are punishing this lane. They are pumping DPS, and they're just pushing this wave to get it under the turret, and so that it'll come back out in a few. Once Graves finishes his red buff, this wave will be in a good position for him to make a gank.
Yep, looking for the bounce here. Nicely done. As the 1v1 on the top side shouldn't have anything too dramatic. So if we go up there for a while, you'll know something exciting is probably going to happen. Kitsuo at bottom side is going to get spotted. Abyssal Dive. Bailey going to not connect. Nice sidestep as well. And here he comes, Winston once again. There's a good slow. Kitsuo dashes out there, and the damage is massive on the Shogo. But he is going to live.
Oh, but Shogo flashed in place there. That's a huge amount of damage. So thankfully, Fasena, she could just press Q, and right there with the fleet footwork as well, she's going to heal a ton. Kitsuo is here to get back into his own zone. Like, whoa.
What an angle out of Winston, man. Past geometry with flying colors as Kitsuo does have to smite there to try and live. Counter smite there from Winston. Going in deep. Lynx is here as well. Winston over the top. But the supports are there, and Tom Kent, baby. Gonna grab first blood, but Winston does get a kill. Lynx, though, gonna die to Robbie Bot, and there are just no
What is happening
in this series? Loyal gonna force a flash as well. Gorica unleashing the double buffs are on the table. Not gonna get him, though.
Oh my god, Chookies, he's just soloing Gorica at this point. Gorica, you're not getting in this fight. No, stay away. And Winston and Lynx, I think a little bit off sync in what they wanted to do there. Winston is going forward, and Lynx, the little Lulu legs, the Yordle legs cannot take you that far. He is like, please, what?
What is that hitbox? Yeah.
Okay, well, that landed. Me and Gorica had the same exact reaction. All right, cool. I just don't have flash now.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to play. Oh, wait, yes, I do. Does have to burn it there. Lives to tell the tale, but Chookies, who was farming at this point in the lane, of course. You see the support item there for Senna. Nice and standard stuff.
Oh, my God. They just come off of resets, man.
This is not 30 seconds ago. This is a different play, but very similar look. Now swapping sides, though, as far as pressure is concerned. Gorica getting absolutely battered by the center Qs right now, and is stuck here. Robbie Bob,
Robbie.
He's going for it. Volk's in, they want the dive, the wave is there.
Gorica.
Trying to save the day. Gorica gonna get knocked up. The easiest kill Shogo's ever received, and Shookie's gonna live as well. They make it 2.
And I mean, right now, UST, they're playing early. They're playing a really aggressive early game with a composition that can go for scaling. So the fact that they are just slamming Western early on is super problematic for them. But St. Thomas doing a fantastic job so far. They are punishing on summoner spells. They know Gorica does not have flash. Chookies, great job. You just got a kill for your bot lane.
Tom Kench looking good here for UST as they're up now 1,600 gold in the early game. Now the good news for Western is if it's the same script as game 1 Alk, it's the easiest win of their life from the mid game. Unfortunately, that's not how it works.
Yeah, let me just do my check notes real quick. Okay, 1, we've got a victor. Check. We're losing in the first 5 minutes of the game in terms of golden experience. Check. All right, there you go.
Yep.
It matches.
In the same lane, about the same lead. everything's gonna be fine, or is it? UST did a great job of snowballing the game, I feel like, once they got a lead in the mid game. We'll see if they can do the same here in their early game. All to your point, they can just sit on this lead and coast for a little bit.
Every Canadian that isn't named Ravish right now is on your side with this kind of take right now. So making sure that Western can maybe get back into this game, but in the meantime, it has slowed down, right? We finally got a little bit of a break. Pastry's allowed to drink water for the first time this game, and you know, St. Thomas, they have to be able to farm. At a certain point, Kitsuo's like, okay guys, I do actually need to hit some minions in on my camps.
The base has been dropped in mid. Loyal gonna go ahead, clear out the wave. I think he wanted it a little bit.
He just wants
forward.
the base. He just wanted a base, and Robbie Bob was not going to give that to him unless he dropped the ultimate.
It's a classic. Don't worry about it. It's so funny now because, like, for a long time, I mean, a long time now, like. When did I cast
say that. You've been here for a really long time, so you need to, like, kind of give us a framework.
Well, I was like,
here.
when did I cast LPL? Because that was the first time I saw it. It's actually Doinby that just dropped at mid every single level 6 every time. Like, what is he doing? He's trolling.
He has no ultimate.
And then 4 years later, he won Worlds. I'm like, oh, okay, he's pretty good. But yeah, now a standard maneuver there for Loyal. Go ahead, drops it, clears the wave. Going to be A-OK. Robbie Bob reverses it. Lynx roams on in. Oh,
good job. Oh, this is really good. I love this. Shout out to Lynx. This is good support play here. If you're a support main,
no, take the wave.
No. Okay, he's got it. Okay, so this wave is now frozen. So Robbie Bob, he does have ultimates, so it's going to be a little easier for someone like Corky to push this wave. But for the time being, it means that the wave is always going to be in front of his turret, and Lynx just trying to save a little bit of gold for his mid laner there. But Dragon's going to go over to UST. And it's a Mountain Drake as well. They're going to be able to at least abuse some of the nice tank stats that it'll get from that.
Yeah, not too bad early here, especially for Chookies, who's feeling pretty good with a kill and 3 assists. If that was solo queue and a jungler, by the way, the wave gets pulled and then instantly bursts down. So
yep.
Nice maneuvers there for Lynx to keep that wave healthy. Winston base checking the enemy. There was a jungler there. Oh, he gets the decoy. He's getting one over. But bottom side, we have problems here for Gorica. Rooted up there by Shogo. Still firing away. That damage doesn't feel nice.
How much crit chance does Shogo have already? Because I feel like I just saw a crit, and maybe it's just a lethality. Serrated Dirk, if you're an AD carry player, Serrated Dirk on almost a lot of champions first is just broken. Senna's really good with it. You can just have that on Jhin as well, and you just do a ton of damage because Jin's base AD is really high thanks to his kit. Yeah, it's kind of insane. Here for Western now, their eyes are on this Herald. They need this as badly if they want to try and win this game, and maybe they can go top side, but there's nowhere near this lane.
We're going for it. I think that was a wave ulti. Spectaculous gonna go ahead and get that push in. The Porsche feeling fine. Maybe we can pull it here, but the wave's pretty big, so probably just gonna let it crash and go ahead and scoop him up.
Well, his ID is Doctor or Professor Calculus. It's not geometry, and that's usually what we kind of attribute to skill shots like that. So it's okay. He's using that, obviously, like you're saying, clear the wave, push it in, force Porsche, try to get it back in here and get some items under his belt, as Porsche has already done that and invested the TP. I like this from Calculus, though, because the wave was so big that Porsche is now going to push this back out, and he will have missed maybe a negligible amount of gold, but he'll also have his TP still up.
Yeah, and I think in that case, what are you using your TP for, right? Because if you just let Camille's TP come back up, you didn't really use the window you opened up for yourself.
Yeah.
There isn't a dragon to really take in the time, so my brain says, hey, are they going to try and set something up in the bottom lane earlier? Maybe watch Spectacular Salty to come back off cooldown, as they would like to bail out Gorica if they can. But here's a 3v2. Senna gets rooted up. The ultimate's popped there for the Devour. Link flashes in, gets the slow. Polymorph is good, but they're out of there.
Like, they immediately removed Gorica from that fight. Does so much damage. Even in another lane here with Robbie Bob poking out Loyal. Is he going to try and do a cheeky cancel wrinkle? No, okay. Loyal knows. He knows. He's got to keep going back in the fog. Really good play coming out there from UST to avoid that gank. Kitsuo was there, and once he recalls, bit of an unfortunate timer there. And now I feel like Western are, I want to say, a little dizzy, as they're just trying to make a couple plays, but none of them are really working.
Loyal getting very ambitious for those last few minions, but doesn't grab them. And as you mentioned, Herald was something we thought Western were going to maybe prioritize a little bit more, but it is UST off the back of kind of the rolling plays that have happened since what led to this 2,000 gold lead. They're going to get the Herald for themselves as well, which is rough goings here. for UWO.
Yeah, so for St. Thomas, I think they have a lot of options with this Rift Herald. If they want, they can free up Camille to move out of that top lane and create a longer lane versus Ornn, which means there is now kill threat onto Calculus. Or they can use it to free up Robbie Bob in the next coming minutes as this Dragon's coming up, and with that alongside the package, they will have full control of that bottom side.
Alright, we'll see what happens. For now, it's fall back and farm here for Kitsuo. Going to make sure to pick up all those camps before anything else goes wrong. Also curious to see what UST do here with the 2v2 lead they still have. Senna with the Umbral Glaive finish now is pretty potent in the 2v2, but of course also good to roam around if you do manage to break out of this lane.
They're going to have so much vision control now, just because of the Umbral Glaive and as well as Chucky's having the Sweeper. Both of them having Sweeper means that it's very difficult for Western to get any real permanent vision down. As you see right now, they've got vision littered throughout the jungle. They want to try and get first onto the play, put UST into a position where, hey, you have to walk into Fog of War. You cannot actually clear these wards until you walk into this into the river.
Again, Arcula still with that teleport at the ready. Porsche doesn't have too long though, so the summon is back and available, so we'll see what happens. It does feel like something's brewing towards the bottom half of the map. 40 seconds till the Dragon is up.
Ooh, look at the lane gank right now. Kitsuo's trying to find an angle, trying to see like, hey, can I do this? Western should know that he is here. They already had vision. Robbie Bob has to invest the Valkyrie to try and get out, as Loyal no longer has ultimate. That is a pretty important timer here, I think, for Western.
Oh, going for it again. Kitsuo just barely
He's alive.
Finds the angle, but he's going to be alive now, the 3v3. Kitsuo spinning back around defensively, but the Tom Kench pretty low. Dawning Shadow, the massive is Winston.
That's good.
Finds the alley-oop alongside Gorica, gets the kill in the 3v3.
Okay, and that's exactly what the UWO boys needed if they want to try and contest for this Dragon here. They get the teleport out of Robbie Bob. He has the package, but their bot lane is nowhere near range. And maybe they can continue to make this play. They need to push out this wave, walk into river, and keep a mark on Robbie Bob.
Watch TP just back up in time as well. And now UST going to float all this pressure down to the bottom half of the rift. You have to back away. You cannot go for this Dragon. UST navigate nicely despite losing the 3v3. Robbie Bob just wants to go for it though. Mans is after Loyal. Good flash.
And that's a teleport out from Calculus. The one that we were talking about, Porsche, he misses nothing. That wave is even. He's going to move right into mid-wave. Winston, flash.
Flash from Winston barely out of the Abyssal Dive there. And now it's a bit of a messy situation. Calculus trying to run away, but Shuki's now in the front line. Winston's going to go down. Kitsuo finding a kill though as Shogo goes again. Big for the double as Robbie Bob's going to clean up one. As Porsche finds the fourth, it's only Loyal left alive.
Oh man, a war on two fronts. Western straight up lose that. St. Thomas, they are firing away. There's two skirmishes, and both of those squadrons were just doing everything. I like the way that we saw Porsche and Robbie Bob kind of link up to make sure that Calculus couldn't get into that fight. And Winston, he's trying to find angles. He's trying to look for something, but Gorka and Lynx were set far behind really early on. So now there's a full turret at 14 minutes, right before the plates are about to go down. For Wukong and for Senna, they're massively ahead. It is 13 minutes, 5,000 gold.
And you can see why Kitsuo wanted to force so hard down to the bottom half of the watch this exchange again.
Yeah, we get to see the bottom lane part of this play as Shogo, all game long, his eyes, his target selection onto this Varus have been fantastic. I love the fact that we got to see that from Chookies to immediately gobble up onto the Varus, take him out of the fight. Once you get rid of the carries, Lulu's like, guys,
yep,
this is the wrong party. Where's everybody?
The rarely seen offensive Tom Kench ulti, but a good one for sure. As Gorica very much nowhere to run in the belly of Tom Kench. It is Dragon for UWO, so that is a spot of sunshine in otherwise a very cloudy day on the Rift right now.
Honestly,
is though continuing to rampage through enemy turrets. Calculus has no chance here in the 2v1.
I know we've been talking about it a lot, but I think it's a really great game to showcase some of the strengths from the solo laners of UST. Both Porsche and Robbie Bob have had now 2 games, I think, back-to-back where they've been pretty solid. And this is, I think, an improvement from my perspective after seeing them in round of 32 and 16, where some of their laning phase and some of their play was a little shaky. And now here in LA, they're
Robbie Bob,
pumping it up.
You are ambitious. in that potential kill, but it doesn't happen. Calculus are still eating damage. His tower getting belted down by Senec here, and this should just be an easy take. The wave not quite big enough this time, but they don't need to stop. They have so much control of the Rift.
Yeah, good luck trying to get this away from Ornn. Ornn's just like a free soul generator at this point, and for Western, there is some like small objectives. Obviously, you want Senna, infinite souls, right? You want Ornn, hit level 14. So there is still a little bit of time, but Western are basically, they're running out. The wick is burning on both ends for them.
5.5k. UST have continued to snowball this gold lead very significantly. Not even 16 minutes through, and a very significant lead. Gorica, it feels bad. You just can't be standing in spots. We don't know where Camille is, and Porsche punishes accordingly.
Camille and Wukong are a AD carry's worst friends. And now Winston, let's see it. Is it the base tower defense?
Oh, the Abyssal Dive prediction, not quite there. Not bad, but not enough. Kitsuo, though, running forward. Shogo flashes towards the enemy team. That's a kill there for the Lulu. Maybe another that Kitsuo wants. Nice. Will get it. Call it a 2v1. At least Weston gets some gold.
Yeah, that's so many kills now. 3 for 1. Everybody's going to be falling. And while the mini wave can kind of be cleared out here by Loyal, this mid turret is going to fall eventually. Maybe not on this wave, but in a few, as Loyal is just getting chunked by these rockets from Robbie Bob.
They're just ignoring the Herald. Like, oh, we don't have control of that side of the map right now.
Who cares?
We don't need it. We'll dive the mid lane. We don't need the Herald to kill that tower. We got other things to do.
Kills make me feel better. Like, the best kind of CC is the one where the opponent just can't ever react. Because you get to check a replay as to what happened here to Gorica. Yeah, I mean, this is normal AD carry things. Yep. Pre-durability patch. If this was 12-10, he definitely wins that 1v2, no doubt, 100%. But unfortunately, just a little too far up. You're playing Varus. You have a lot of range. You do not need to be that far up. And this is just a really great dive here. Winston does not have flash. Lynx is trying over the wall. And I like this, as we see in the picture-in-picture. UWO are trying to go for this Riptail. They need this in their back pocket. And the second one did not go well for them last time. It's stolen!
Oh, no, man! That is very unfortunate. Kitsuo on a rampage, gonna scoop up the enemy jungler and the Herald as well. Oh boy.
I mean, that's great for UST, right? Like,
correct. No
cheeky plays allowed. You're not allowed to get away with highway robbery. If they got that Rift Herald, that's surely a little bit of gold back in their pocket for UWO. But I mean, we're talking about the timer that they're being on. You know, the Senna is one of them, but Corki has Manamune coming up soon, and he's going to be finishing his second item here sooner rather than later. And so once that is done with Mirror Mana and that, how do you ever beat this? Shogo's going to be finishing Eclipse as well. So that second item, Power Spike, the Mythic coming in for him alongside the Unmovable Glaive that he already has. Western have almost no answer to this, and it's kind of similar to last game for St. Thomas. Lean on your Victor. We have not seen Loyal step up really.
Yeah, I mean, an assist, a little bit of gold, not doing too badly, but this is such a tough mountain to climb here. 7,000 gold plus for UST, and they are trying to drill this mid lane out of tower. Kitsuo are likely going to roam on in, finish off the renovations, dropping the Herald in mid. Okay. And then the map is theirs.
Yeah, and now Robbie Bobby's going to finish off his Ravenous Hydra. Just said, you are never, ever hitting that wave ever again. Thank you to Observers for giving us a little bit of that close-up on Chippy, but 20 seconds before game is decided in my mind here for both teams. If UST, they can use this as a platform. I think Western are going to probably realize we can't actually fight for this dragon, and maybe they'll go to another lane. Maybe they'll look to do something there, but they have to protect this mid lane.
Oh, baby, Robbie! You're wild, and you're going to get punished. The tower goes down, but Gorica gets some gold back, and now the Ornn ulti's going to room in as well. Kitsuo too far forward. 4 people there on the ulti, and how is that not enough? Porsche able to take down Calculus, and Loyal just can't do enough damage.
Here we go. Maybe they can do a little bit of damage on the back end. They can chase them into the dragon pit. Maybe look for something. Look for Chookies. He goes in. Kitsuo.
Loyal. Kitsuo's decoy dies, but not Luke on himself. Ulti there for Winston Pop, but it doesn't quite connect as Lynx roaming on in. Shogo's going to try and protect everyone in the mist. And UST, they just keep going.
Okay, but look at this. They're using the Hextech Soul right now. Because of the way the map is changed, thank you to Observer for showing us, Gorka used the Hextech portal and is now back into this fight. Same thing with Robbie Bob. He has his teleport. Porsche is teleporting really deep on this minion wave. Western, do they give up the Drake and go towards mid lane? They have to be able to mark Porsche.
Calculus has to run. They actually can't contest here. They can't get in. They've got not enough health. You're going to try a snipe perhaps there. Gorka has to just guess. Almost guesses right. But Kitsuo takes down the dragon.
Super close, and well, it felt like a good old Texas showdown there, a stare down from the two teams. Western, they lose the draw. They're not able to get anything in that play. They lose more members than they got. It's a mid turret. It's a dragon in the back pocket of UST. St. Thomas, it's more and more leads. It's more and more of that scaling advantage for them, where Corky's going to continue to outrange this Victor and the Graves.
I haven't decided yet what I think of Robbie Bob's play with the package. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
Say that much.
It's something that Colliver said where it's like, look, it wouldn't be a South Conference game if we're not just gonna like do some good old-fashioned beat 'em ups. We're gonna have some fun in the mid game. We're gonna do some team fights. We're gonna have a 40-minute or 40-kill game at one point or another. And you know, UST kind of embracing their roots. Robbie Bob fully sending the package.
Yep.
This one probably not a great one as he instantly died, but you know, it's the gumption to do it that I respect.
Yeah, that was 2-hour delivery.
Yeah.
That was very, very fast from Robbie Bob there, but Porsche still feeling good. Actually, again, quietly picked up all these kills and assists, so Camille is just kind of free in the side lanes to do whatever.
Yeah,
Porsche
I
can
mean,
join the team as well.
Orin can't really do much. Like, he's just
Correct.
a tank at this point. While Camille does do true damage, and she is kind of finishing more and more of her items, Orin is merely a stopgap measure. He is just there to say, like, okay, Camille, I can't push this lane, but you can't take my turret unless I say so.
Again, Western running out of room to play with. Zero towers always feels bad in these points of the game, especially when Baron is on the table. They do have some vision, so UST can't get too sneaky on the objective, but they're going to lose everything else here in the left side of the rift. No vision to speak of, have to walk together here in the mid lane, and again, Gunko too far forward because you're just going to get jumped on by Kitsuo. Looking for the angle, Gorka, they're going to find a Dawning Shadow down! Easy kill there for Porsche, and now the ulti gets used on to Winston. On out to here as well, he does get two, but Chookies with a wonderful devour, he's going to scoop him out to safety, and Robbie Bob still winning the 1v1, I think, on the other side. Almost lost to the Victor ulti, but does live to tell the tale.
And that's just basically an ace at this point. Lynx gets to be the single survivor. Porsche, he's going to take this mid turret. You're going to see the Baron being started up with double marksman. This is exactly what they wanted. Even if they only found one kill with the Senna and with this Corki, they ripped this to shreds. This should be the final finishing touches on this game. They've already got a massive lead. It's 23 minutes and 10,000 in their favor. Lynx, I don't know if you could step up, buddy.
The answer is no.
Yep.
Porsche maybe gonna miss out on the turret. Does indeed hit the B button as the Baron goes over. Call it 11,000 gold at under 23 minutes for UST. That is a gargantuan lead.
Yeah, now we get to check the replay here. Gorka, you thought you were safe, but Senna missed. Really good job from Shogo to escort his teammates in. And you see right here, he's just playing from range. He's playing with his mid laner to try and kill out on the Loyal. Calculus can't do much. There's no damage, and as soon as Gorka is gone, Winston is in no position to be able to do any damage as this Graves.
And it was, as I watched it back, I was curious. It was indeed a Manatee ambush. Robbie Bob just camping the enemy mid-teleport.
Yep.
Blowing him up alongside
Loyal,
who did get the kill. Loyal is going to be ultimatum. Goodbye. Very fancy.
Not much to say there. Camille's a menace. Porsche's a menace on this team right now, and you actually just cannot walk anywhere. No lane is safe. No jungle crowd is safe. Kitsuo is making sure of that.
Oh, Senna, man, that's making it so frustrating. Chuki's even with the Devour. Kitsuo leaps on out of the belly with the shield, and UST is going to run up down mid. They're going to try and end this game.
That's it. I mean, Porsche's in no man's land.
You are wild.
I told you, the only way out for UST is through Western. They want to, drill a hole. They want to make right on through, break down the base. That's the first inhibitor being taken down. Calculus, I don't think you're saving this one, buddy. This is a foregone conclusion.
Certainly seems like it. UST going on through. Good double knockup. Polymorph's decent, but Porsche still safe enough. A Corky pokes there. Wave clear is good with the Hydra. UST may think to back away, but they do have more than a minute of Baron. Robbie Bob's going to go back and reset. TP back on through in the most aggressive position possible.
And now we kind of get to see the problem with most marksmen into Wukong and to Camille is you don't actually get space to auto-attack. You really have to try and abuse a range matchup early on, but obviously the early game completely blown up. They got perma-ganked. It was everything. Chookies was finding knock-up. Gorica was the target of a lot of pressure from the enemy team. And then you can't really poke because you're going this on-hit build. He has the Kraken Slayer. The piercing arrows don't do all that much damage unless you have the blight. Oh, Robbie Bob.
I mean, by the way, Porsche is taking the dragon. It's a 5v4 for Western. They still can't find an angle. 30 seconds of Baron remaining. UST back on up. Make sure Porsche's safe to get the dragon. They'll take the enemy red buff. They'll finally get their reset in, but this gold lead is absolutely out of control.
It's just a foregone conclusion at this point, right? Like, Western, they don't exactly have the tools to scale. Like, Calculus is just now going to be hitting level 14 soon. So you get one item. Who do you put it on? Maybe it's onto Loyal, but if you put it on to Loyal, we need him to step up as this Victor. He has been a silent player in this game, and you know, we talked about the hero building for Gorica and for Winston, these two long-standing veterans for Western. They need those supporting characters. It is Loyal who are looking towards to save the game for them if anybody's going to do it.
And UST just trying to show up here in the opening round of top 8. Want to present to the rest of the teams that they are a threat for the title. So far, so good. Looking to try and make it a sweep here. It's been a very fun set of games. We've had not quite as many kills as game number 1, but the energy has remained the same.
And it's a lot of first-year programs coming into top 8 this year, right? Like, not only UST, but also you have Converse waiting on the other side of the bracket from them. So a lot of teams that have been here, and one of our first Blue Blood versus New Blood matchups that is going in favor of some of the new kids on the block.
Push goes in, Kitsuo follows Robbie Ball over the top. It's perfectly laid. The wallet has been smacked. And UWO just getting routed by UST's gold lead. They have navigated so well to get to this spot. And they're just hitting them with the wall at the end of it all. Gorica trying to make it look fancy. Maybe gonna get a kill indeed. Will not get it because that devour was beautifully timed by Chookies. But UST will roam on down to get the objective that matters out. It is the Nexus, it is the sweep. It is them pushing forward one more round into top 4.
And that's St. Thomas making it on to top 4 in a dominant fashion. Game 1 was a little bit closer, it was a little sloppier, but his killer face from Kitsuo right there, ready to stand up. Business as usual for them so far throughout the year.
A very fun way to kick off the Collegiate Championship top 8. Again, the plan from Western was good in game number 1 and kind of went for the same thing in game 2. This time UST were like, you know what? We like that early game plan. We'll take it.
Here, just make sure you don't make it look the same, okay? Get a Senna, throw a little bit of a more Wukong in there. This time, their early game plan went a little bit better, and finally the boys get to do their bow. One of the great things that we get to have, thanks to them being in person here at the studio.
Yep. Unfortunately for Western, that is another exit here. The Colin prediction was correct. Canadians have once again been beaten.
It's unfortunate, you're right? But
sorry, Rav.
Coming out for the side of Western obviously means a lot for them as a student-run program. They are it's kind of Winston running a lot of the team. He's like team mom at that point.
More than just a jungler, let me tell you.
Yeah, he's doing a lot for the background of the team. So exciting stuff. Unfortunate for them to kind of bow out so early on, but making it to top 8 is obviously a huge accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, definitely players that have been here before would obviously love to go further. Certainly have in recent years as well, but their run will end here as UST looking pretty good.
Yeah.
As a team that we thought would be pretty good, but obviously not a heavy favorite for the title. Definitely, I think, making a statement here to open up the collegiate top 8.
Always important to see how the teams are going to play on land next to each other, playing in a studio with the crowd. It's always a different experience. And 32-16 from UST, where I think maybe them taking it a little bit lightly, saying like, look, we know we're a really good team, we're a strong team, we're able to take games off of the top collegiate programs in the conferences across the country. I'm just excited to see that we have a strong UST, and hopefully we have a really strong matchup after this.
I think the nice thing also thinking about this series is, like, obviously we had a lot of attention on bottom lane coming into this. Game 1 didn't look great for the UST bottom lane. They kind of got outclassed in the 2v2/3v3. This game, much different. So nice to see Shogo and Chuki's really showing, why they're a bottom lane that should be feared.
Exactly. That was especially, it saves our narratives for us.
Hey!
But obviously we got to see the heroes, right? We got to see Robbie Bob step up in the game one and save the game. Alongside him and Porsche, kind of those unsung heroes that we've been talking about. Well, where the spotlight, I think, from everybody across CLOL has been Chuki's, Shogo, everywhere.
Well, I have excellent news because we are joining the Tigers and Shogo for our post-game interview.
Thank you, Pastry Time. You just heard his name. I've got Shogo by my side after that 2-0 victory. A lot of the desk was really focusing on you and your fellow bot laner coming into this. There was a lot of action from your solo laners as well, though. What did you make of the series?
I mean, game one, our performance wasn't the best, wasn't the cleanest. Their bot lane showed up big. But game two, we kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and I think we've shown why we're the best bot lane here.
Yeah, tell me a bit more about your performance in game number 2. It felt like you had Gorka's number.
Yeah, so game 2, I just decided to play with both hands, and it was all over. Game 1, I mean, Robbie Bob and Porsche just did everything. They didn't even need me, so they had it. They had it.
Stepping up in that late game, though, in game 1 still, so
Yeah.
definitely give yourself props there. I do want to ask you a bit more about your relationship with Gorka. I know there's been some words you both have been exchanging going into this matchup.
I don't have any beef with him. I really respect him as a player. I think he's great. He's probably the best player on the team. But definitely feels good to beat a player of his caliber on stage. And I feel like I've shown why I'm here.
You definitely have, and there is still a journey to come for the rest of the weekend. How do you feel that you and your squad stack up against some of the others? Anyone that you have your eyes on as the biggest threats?
No, I don't think there's any threats. No.
Full confidence over here. Shogo, thank you so much for the interview, and congratulations on the victory.
Thank you so much.
Let's continue to talk about this series. Heading on back over to the desk.
No threats, no games dropped. UST started off with a 2-0. Welcome back to the desk. Ravishing Gravity, joined by Colmer, Smacks, and Red Bull Fox. Amigos, honestly, I would not have wanted to start CLOL any other way than a game like this.
Are you sure? Because now Canada's eliminated.
Okay, cool. We're going to move right on past that. Justin Trudeau's disappointed, and so am I. But it doesn't matter here because we got a fun game, Rebel.
We did. I think that Western is proud. I think they can be proud of the accomplishments, and we expected a lot from them coming out today. I think UST showed up in kind, and there's a reason why, two of us have predicted the 2-0, the two inside of Collegiate predicted the 2-1, and now we look the fools. And it's because I think UST showed up a lot more than Western not showing up today. UST played an amazing series.
Yeah, definitely. I think from both you and I, we definitely expected a 2-1 because we did see that Shogo may sometimes make some plays that were a little bit questionable. And we actually saw that in the first game. It just so happened that the rest of his team managed to cover for him really well, but game 2 looked really, really clean. I know going into top 8, one of the things that was really worrisome about UST is that in their previous matches, they kind of looked a little bit shaky. They kind of looked like they were either not taking this serious or that they were just making some silly mistakes. But game 2, that's the team that we wanted to see. Going into this top 32 tournament, there was a few teams that we all decided were like, this is a team that needs to be watched out for potentially winning this whole thing. UST wasn't looking like that recently, but they definitely are now.
And considering how UST looking so far, like you guys are already saying, I think on the other end, just to give some respect over the Canadian boys, they definitely played their hearts out, right? Although barring a couple of unfortunate instances, I think I can definitely say they look well prepared. But a hands diff was definitely kind of there at times, but team fights are UST specialty. But I think Western, I know they're proud to have made it this far.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see how they develop the program going into next year.
If you heard the interview that Winston did when this team qualified for top 8, it was really heartfelt. It was one of my favorite interviews of the entire year so far. He was just really happy to be leading his team all the way to Los Angeles. And yeah, exactly. They should be very proud to have made it here as this club team. Not a lot of support from the school, but they did that together and they made it to here. I'm really proud of those boys.
I believe this is also Winston's last season senior,
Yeah,
and so he's just recent graduation means that this is his last kind of dodge to being able to come to LA and being able to perform like this. Even though it's an early departure for the team, you have to know that they're proud of what they were able to accomplish.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, Western, year after year, we said that they are one of these blue blood programs, you know, even if they don't necessarily have the most support. Again, the school itself is very rigorous. It's a very high academic, prestigious school. And the fact that year after year, consistently, they're able to make top 32, top 16, top 8, and that when you think of good collegiate programs, it's Western's always going to be one of the ones up there. And you're thinking best club programs, it's Western every single time. So props to those guys always.
Indeed, it was a phenomenal series to start things off, but we have more League of Legends action coming at your faces. Right after this commercial break, we'll have series number 2. Don't move from that seat.